Great.
So anxious to talk to you guys.
Oh, yeah, our
I really
pleasure.
loved the script. Can't wait to see the play.
It's great to talk about. Thanks.
Yeah.
My first reaction when I came to the end was, this is so human. And
Yeah.
even though I
Yes.
hang out in the mental health world,
Yes.
I didn't go right to mental health,
Yeah.
mental illness. I just went to human.
Yeah. think
Yeah, I
that's-
feel that. Yeah, I mean, ultimately it's a story about a guy and his mom, and his, and his family, and it's very simple that way. And there is stuff in there about the Samaritan's media guidelines and things like that, but the writing is so good that you never lose touch of who this guy is. And
The list began after her first attempt.
yeah, it's just a good play.
When they set out to write the play, Duncan Macmillan, the playwright, wanted to write about depression and about suicide, and realized very quickly that in order to do that, he had to find a way to do so that engaged the audience's imagination and engaged their humanity, and that sharing of humanity was a key aspect of drawing the audience in, and I do think that that's what's so successful about the piece. But what's also what we discovered early on in the run is the number of people, some of whom, were good friends or, we've known for years, would come up afterwards and say, that was my mom's story. People would constantly share their own personal connections to it.
Sure. It might leave you with some questions around, well, what happened with mom and what could have been done different and that kind of thing that hopefully then you walk out wanting to have a conversation. What's your sense? I know that artists don't typically come at a play with, my goal is to reduce stigma, but do you think it happens here and why?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, no, you're right. My immediate goal is not to be a healthcare professional, but an actor, and to tell a good story as best I can. But in Philadelphia, every night somebody came up, and my mother and my father, and sometimes people would hug me. Yeah, it was clear that it had an impact beyond just a nice evening in the theater. That it was really something and people came back, and there's clearly a real thirst for a piece of art that can do things like that. I have had healthcare professionals come up, people who work specifically in suicide prevention and depression, come up to me and say, whoever wrote this knows what they're talking about, because this making a list is something that is done in group therapy. The accumulation of positives is what they called it, and it's on the money in terms of research and treatment, and it is not by any means therapy, but the playwright wrote it from a place of great knowledge about that and about treatment and that kind of thing.
I'm drawn to shows that remind us of our shared humanity, and this play does it again and again. Because the audience is part of it, and because it does change every night. And because Scott is very good at being absolutely present in the room, which allows us, the audience members, to also be present and to let down our defenses. And Scott greets every audience member when they come in, and he asks them, hey, do you want to participate? And if they say no, he's like, great, no problem. So it's incredibly safe, and so it ends up being really moving as a collective experience.
This is one of those, I just so hope people come.
So do we.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is, we always talk about, how theater, it happens one night, one way, and it'll never be that way again. That is so true about this piece, and you feel it. That's part of what makes it so remarkable. It's an hour and 5 minutes, and it is a remarkable journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.